Happy Memorial Day, everybody. The Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel. And yes, it is the 29th of May, 2017. And, you know, throughout the social media, we read a lot of things that people are posting on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or wherever they're at. And a lot of people are just like, here's some remarks. Well, I'm not going to watch the WWE again until it's fun again. Well, in my opinion, it's your choice, but everything changes when time changes, as we all know. We change. As time moves on, we become older, we grow. And it's the same for anything else. Time changes everything. And yeah, I mean, it all depends on what you mean as far as the definition of fun. I think a lot of us grew up and started watching wrestling when it was like through the Attitude Era in the WWF, WWE, and so we expect things to remain the same. Nothing remains the same in life, really, so to speak. There's a lot to talk about in the world of professional wrestling right now. WWE champion Jinder Mahal. Discuss that. What are your thoughts? What are your opinions on Jinder Mahal being WWE champion? Did we think it was going to happen a few months ago? Probably not, because he jobbed for most of his career. And I don't know. Maybe the WWE saw something and decided to do something differently because they felt that the people they were pushing at this point in time wasn't bringing in the viewership and the ratings. One thing that I do have an issue with the WWE is putting the championship belt on Brock Lesnar. Now, this is the second go around in the last few years of Lesnar having the title, now being the Universal title, and for the most part, he is a missing champion. He gets the title, we don't see him for a couple months, he'll come back, and we'll see him for a little bit, and he'll disappear once again. And now you can argue the fact that a lot of people will say, well, now that the Universal title isn't in the mix, isn't active, that the lower belts are becoming more important. I, I get it. I get it. But this is the second go around with Brock Lesnar. I think fans didn't really care for it the first time, and I certainly don't think they care for it this time around either. Put it on a person right now that's active night in and night out in the WWE um, for Monday Night Raw. I mean, that's my opinion. But there is a lot to talk about in wrestling. Um, Impact Wrestling, Rosemary's Return. Is she a face? I mean, a lot of people don't care because they don't watch Impact Wrestling. I watch Impact Wrestling. I do care. What about the return of Scott Steiner? Uh, yeah, there should be talk about that. Steiner's been a veteran of many, many years. We haven't heard much about him in a long, long time, and he resurfaces. So that is something to talk about. So the world of professional wrestling, you know, it's what you make of the definition of fun. If you're a wrestling fan, you go through the good times, you go through the bad times, like I have many times over many, many years. And do I criticize? Yes, I do. But do I still watch? For the most part, I do. WWE product right now, I watch the pay-per-views pretty much only. Um, I'm a big fan of AJ Styles. I always have been throughout his career. I think watching Styles in TNA wrestling in his early days when he was an X Division opponent and champion, his matches were, no pun intended, phenomenal. Uh, we saw him in some great matches with Low Key, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, just to say the least. Um, and now he's on SmackDown Live, and I think, in my opinion, because the absence of John Cena, who really right now isn't as relevant as he once was. And I am a huge John Cena fan, as everybody knows, but again, you got to move along with the times. John Cena is not as relevant as he once was. Um, so with Cena being gone, and only AJ Styles is really capturing my eye on SmackDown Live, because I was an Alexa Bliss fan, as everybody knows as well, and she moved on to Raw. And quite honestly, I really don't watch Raw for the fact is it's 3 hours, um, and it's pretty much the same stuff all the time. So it's redundant to me. So I can miss a month of it and go back and watch it and say, okay, this is what's going on. Yeah. And it hasn't really changed. And SmackDown Live just don't have the amount of superstars to really make things more interesting. And I think that's one of the reasons why, they decided to swap Jinder Mahal, put him on SmackDown, and, run with it. I still feel that with John Cena defeating AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble for his 16th title win, only to lose it 2 weeks later, was a waste for the fact this was a special moment for John Cena. And as far as tying Ric Flair's recognizable 16-time title reign, there should have been a celebration. It should have been more important. But they had Cena lose to Bray Wyatt eventually in the Elimination Chamber match. And, quite frankly, they had to do something because they messed things up with Cena winning the title at the Rumble and Randy Orton winning the Royal Rumble. This, all it did was lead to another matchup for Randy Orton and John Cena at WrestleMania, which we have seen way too many times in the past because Cena and Randy Orton were the two top superstars throughout many years of the last decade. So fans weren't going to tolerate it once again. I don't know what the WWE creative and booking were thinking. But again, yeah, so some things don't work out the way they should. But to say it's not fun, it may not be fun because we're growing older. When you're a young person and you get involved in watching wrestling, it's something new to you. And you latch on to it and you look forward to it each and every week. Or as we speak now, you can just go to the WWE network and watch anything anytime you want every day of the week. Whereas when I was involved in watching wrestling in my earlier days, it was very hard to get to watch any kind of wrestling. But yeah, so I think it's just like anything, the novelty starts to wear off. And for a fan that's been watching for many years, yeah, the excitement you sort of lose. And will there ever be another Attitude Era? Probably not. But it's a good thing too, because for the fact is, you'll always remember wrestling. You'll always remember the Attitude Era. And you'll always remember what superstars were involved in that era, because it was the Attitude Era, and it was probably one of the best eras in wrestling when it comes to the WWF. I have a lot of very good memories in the old NWA days um, with Dusty Rhodes, Ric Flair, Lex Luger, uh, the the entering of Sting, uh, Nikita Koloff. I mean, it was just Magnum TA. It was great. And then you had the era of the NWO in WCW, where Eric Bischoff took over and he made Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash huge again. So there's like different eras in wrestling now. NWO will always be remembered, much like the Attitude Era, and much like DX, um, and the Four Horsemen. So making it, not watching it till it's fun again. It's only fun as how you perceive it. So With all that being said, I've talked long enough. I'm sure you don't want to hear me talk no more. This is the Iceman on Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, and thank you for all the armed services, men and women, that have helped make this country great and given us the freedom that we have today. Have yourself a great Memorial Day, everybody, and we'll see you all next time. This is the Iceman.